What's up, YouTube family? We are back again with another one. So someone sent me this video. The title is captivating. I 100% want to react to this video. It says, I won't build with a man. Here's why. I really would want to know why. So without wasting your time, let's dive in the video.
I was talking to my guy friend yesterday and we were discussing this notion that a lot of girls don't want to build with guys because really often you see guys who are broke build and the girl will build with them and then he gets successful and leaves her for like a younger 24-year-old. She invested and wasted so much time and now she's older in the dating market, starting back at square one. At first he didn't really see where I was coming from. His perspective was more like, well, if I don't build with a girl, then I'm not sure that she's going to be with me for anything other than my money when I'm successful. So let me try to explain this.
Yeah, see, me, I keep it a buck. I have to agree with some parts. Not everything is absolute, but it's true, but it is very much circumstantial. And I will explain. Sadly enough, right, as human beings, we don't just get it our way all the time, especially when it comes to relationship. Men don't have it their way and women don't have it their way. Right now, as we speak, there is a lot of women that are married to men that are not their first option. If they could do better right now, they'll leave. Some of them are actively cheating because they actually just there because that man is able to provide. The reason why they're actually with that man is because the other man is just like, a bum, doesn't get his act together, stuff like that. And also there are men, as a man, if you don't have anything, obviously your option shorten right away. So you were left with a very, very, very tight circle available to you. And honestly, based on what I know, human beings at the core are terrible human beings. We're terrible. We're terrible. We're not always honest. A lot of men settle with women that they don't truly love. I'm not gonna lie. It's true. It's very true. But to this statement that you will not build with a woman because of that reason, I'm not gonna say it's a good thing because it's very complex to talk about this thing because I totally get the point. And I can agree. I promise you I can agree. But the other part is, the man is also gonna say, look, man, if you don't help me build, you can't just come in when everything is ready. There's no trust here. There's no foundation for me to lean on and be able to just see you as somebody I can trust, as somebody like I can't. That's why men like that tend to not want only one option. They want their options to be open. You could probably be the main chick, but then it's going to be an open relationship on his end. Something like that. It's going to come with a certain bunch of rules, probably some disrespect that you would have to put up with. And, I get it. But I would say this, though. Let's say if this is your first time buying a car, you don't think about, what? There's so many accident reports. There's so many accidents nowadays. I'm not going to go buy a car. Or there's so many car theft, I'm not gonna go buy a car. You just buy the car because you trust that your situation is gonna be different. You might not get into an accident. I think you should approach it that way, or else I kind of get both sides. She has a point. I'm not gonna lie. She does have a point. It's true.
Male psychology for girls who think like me. So I kind of have two pillars of thought when it comes to this. First pillar is that I feel like a lot of guys, when they're broke, they don't choose their dream woman. They pick the girl that fits their current lifestyle that they can quote unquote afford. Then when they reach success, they finally have this ginormous pool of girls who want them, and they kind of get their pick of the litter. And now they can go for their.
It's I cannot go against what she's saying. I always try to keep it a buck, man. When they come here and act a fool, I call it out. When they come here and also spit some hard truth, man, I gotta call it. It's true. What she's saying is true because fundamentally, as a man, it's hard for you to even have your options widened. Like if you're not like a man of status, and we know most men are not. For women, the case might be a little bit different because, women just are born with a certain type of value, but men are not. But a lot of men are not really doing good for themselves. So what are they going to do? Go for the woman that they can literally get, right? But that does not mean that this is the woman that probably their type. And obviously when they get money, They might end up cheating. They might end up, mistreating that woman, or not even taking care of her, or just divorce, like whatever. It's. I have to agree with this. This side, I have to agree, and we're not gonna act like women are always the problems and stuff like that. Sometimes men are the problem too. We have to keep it a buck,
Woman. And by the way, I don't think every guy's like this. I'm well aware that there's many guys that.
And I like the way she's talking about it. She's not generalizing it. It's true.
Yeah. That is the person they stick with forever. I think this really comes down to the fact that it's a personality trait. Are you a cheater or not? Is it your character to cheat and seek novelty or not? I recognize that. So the other pillar of thought that I have when it comes to this is that I feel like the guys psychologically don't want the woman who watched him struggle. I think they want to, but I think the guys...
No, I don't think so. There's different element to this thing. Just because you've been with somebody does not mean that you actually were there for, during the struggle. You could be present, but you didn't add anything. Seriously, let's not confuse these two things. Just because you were there does not mean that you added value. Like, if you were there just because you were there, do you know how many women, as men, we don't tend to express certain things out to the world as women do sometimes. Most of the time, even when I see interviews and men tend to speak a certain way about their women, chances are that woman is not behaving like that when they get home. But she's not going to say it. It's like, just because the woman was there, y'all see the woman was there from the jump, does not mean that the woman was supportive. Maybe she was nagging. Maybe she was even insulting this man. Like, you don't bring always complaining and nagging. Maybe the man wanted to make certain decisions, and then always, you broke, you broke, you this and that. Why are you going to do this? Go work because you don't have money. We need money for this. And the constant nagging was there, but we could not see it because obviously we don't live that reality. So it might be true, but I think there's another aspect to that too that we can consider. But I get the point.
That are still starting at zero and are building, they don't like who they are. And so when he reaches that level of success, he's always going to tie that old version that he's trying to escape to that woman. I think there's a lot of guys out there that don't want to be seen. I think a lot of guys want to be seen for that post-glow-up self. Want the woman who sees him as like this hero, who sees them as like this manly man. Not saying that a girl who builds won't see that. If anything, she actually might. She might respect him a lot for what he went through. But I think this has a lot to do with men's ego, and so many of these guys just don't want a woman that's seen that side of them. Again, not every guy. I am totally aware of that. And so when you combine these two main reasons, for me, it's not about gold digging or finding a guy that's super successful. To me, this is risk management. I don't think that most of us will be able to accurately assess how a person is going to change when he gets power and success. A guy who's making 80K versus a guy who's making 800K, they don't have the same temptations, the same self-control battles, the same access to women. Their values might even change once they reach a certain level of success. There's not really a way to predict this. You can look at character, but people change a lot when they get power and money. And I don't want to
be... This is very debatable, but people don't change as we think they do. I don't think people change. People don't change. I don't think people change at all. People are always who they are. The reason why they probably weren't able to do certain things is because they had limitation, whether that was financial, whatever the case might be. But people don't change. Somebody that wanted to truly be with you, that appreciated you helping him through the struggle, is going to stay with you regardless. He's not going to leave you. A lot of men are very appreciative of the women that have been there, that accompany them through the misery, through everything. And they're still up there to be with those women. Did not cheat, did not do anything. So those men were just the type of men that had good character, that had those values, in them, from, struggling all the way up to being rich. But some people are struggling, but they have weak values. But you wouldn't know because of the financial limitations, they were not able to express themselves as they would. So once they get money, the real them comes out. Like, it's not that they changed, they just couldn't express themselves. I don't think people change. I really don't think people change at all. People are always who they are. You might not know because of the limitation that's on them, that's been imposed on them, whether, it's poverty, whatever the case might be. That's my take on it. I don't know if anybody agrees, but I don't think people just suddenly change like that. People are just who they are.
Blindsided. I want to date somebody who's at his finished, stable state, who's already experienced some.
And this is a bad thing too, because that's gonna come with a lot of. You're talking about risk management, but it's not gonna help it. It's not gonna help your case at all, because obviously I can tell you have not met a man like that yet. Wait until you meet a man like that, and you will see the other side, the negative side too. Of that thing that you're talking about. Everything here has like a negative side attached to it. If you think that somebody who's making, let's say, 800K is gonna see you, he's at the finish line. I mean, he's also gonna have some shady stuff attached to it too that you might not agree, right? So let's not just make it. I understand the risk management thing here. It's not gonna work in your favor. It's just not. Especially if I mean, look, because this is the thing. This is what I think about it. That person who's making 800K a year, right? $800,000 a year. Wow. Let's just speak on the values that they have: the $80,000 and the $800K and the $800,000. If the $800,000 guy has good values, he's not gonna be looking for somebody who's just waiting for him to get to the finish line to get, he's not gonna scope out somebody like that. They don't do that. They don't move like that when they have good values. And when they don't have good values, they might scoop you out, but they're gonna keep it open on their end, meaning that they're gonna be cheating on you. You're gonna be disrespected in that relationship. I'm telling you. So it's like, I don't know. I get it though. But I understand your point. Honestly, I think she has a solid point. It's going to be really hard to disagree here, because some men are just terrible.
This temptation and an experienced level of success. I also don't want somebody who's super, super successful, like very much at their peak.
You know what? This girl is so smart. She's so smart. Okay, all right, cool. Look, I like her. Okay, let's go.
I think those guys also have a different psychology that I don't want to have to deal with.
Okay, all right. She's talking about my point. Okay, all right, she's good.
Experienced success and is still building and working towards something. And I have no problem holding somebody down and like building with them there. But I need to see that they've already experienced a level of success where I know that they are kind of who they are at this point. And I need to know how they react and how they've behaved with all this new access that they have to women, to money, to power. I think at that point, a man's identity is a lot more solidified. So yeah, I'm not looking to date for potential, not looking to take a gamble on who he might become. There's also the age factor. I'm 25. I don't want to build with somebody, then I've reached 30, he's reached success, and suddenly he's leaving me for the young 25-year-old, and I have to restart at square one, and I'm like older in the dating pool. So for these reasons, very quick summary, I will not be dating to build with somebody.
At some point I think we're going back to square one, because I don't know, I'm trying to pinpoint what is your definition, because you made it very clear, right? You don't want to deal with the person who's still kind of struggling to help build him, but fearing that he might leave you for a hot younger chick. I get it. It's true. You're right. I give it to you. You're right. But also, you said that you want to date the very successful. I wonder, okay, what is the calibration here? Like, what is the middle? Like, what income are we looking at? If we're talking about $800,000, I can promise you, you're gonna struggle. It's gonna come a lot of shit. Now, if you could gauge it, I wish you could have given me something, but I understand it. I'm just gonna take the video for what it is. Honestly, I think she has a strong point. Man, it is what it is. What do you guys think about this video? Let's talk about it in the comments. Let's talk about it in the comments. And we like this video, by the way. So whoever sent me this video, thank you. Let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.